Hey y'all, Bridget Bartlett here. Today I'm going to show you how to bulk update your contacts. Now, if you're like me, when building your system, you have probably had to restructure your workflows multiple times. This is such a normal thing, right? But it can actually be kind of a little bit confusing to figure out, okay, well, I just completely created a different offer and tags and all of that, but how do I convert all of the people who had the previous info and now add the new info? So what I'm going to do is show you how to actually set that up today using your contacts. All right. So, first of all, what I'm using here today is HighLevel. If you are not a HighLevel member yet, you can go to bridgetbartlett.com and you can sign up. If you're already a HighLevel member, you can actually join our program as well by going to bridgetbartlett.com. Okay, so if you can also register for all the free training and tools there. So, here is all of my demo contacts here. These are not real contacts, but you can see here that I have some tags and I have all of the contact information. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to create a workflow. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and go in here. We're going to create this workflow, and I'm just going to say, I'm going to call this training one. Okay. And we're going to pretend that this is the workflow that I had, that I was getting leads on, and now I want to convert it. I want to convert them to another workflow. Okay. So typically when we start out our workflow, you'll see forms. Okay. So let's just say we started here in our workflow, and when they fill out this booking form, it's going to trigger this automation. Okay. So typically what we do is we'll add a tag. So I'm just going to go ahead and add booked. And then we typically update the opportunities pipeline. So I'm going to scroll down here, and you might notice that this looks a little different. In the lab section of your sub account, we actually got an update on the workflows. So it's much more organized and user friendly. So if you want to utilize this before it actually goes live, you can go to labs and toggle that on. Okay. So let's say here that we want to now create or update our sales pipeline. So let's just say this lead was in the cold pipeline. Let's go ahead. Let's add this information here. We can add our contact source. And we could add a lead value if we wanted to. I'm just going to keep this open and save action. Okay. Now, typically, we also will, maybe we've assigned a user. Okay. So let me just type in users. I don't have to search for it. Oops. User. Okay, so typically we've assigned a user. Let's just say I assigned myself here. And let's see what else we wanted to do. Maybe we are also um, created the opportunity. What else can we add here? Okay, maybe we added them to the affiliate manager. Okay, so we could do that as well. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this. All right. So let's pretend this was our typical workflow. Right now, what I wanted to actually do is I want to create a workflow that's going to remove these things, but it's also going to update with my new information. Okay. So, and actually, let's add another step here because I know a lot of you also have courses. So you may want to give access to a new one or revoke one. So I'm just going to go ahead and say all of these members of this workflow had access to offer one. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this. And so now what we're going to do is I am going to pretend that all of these contacts went through this workflow by filling out the form. Okay, so for me to pretend to do that, I'm actually going to go back to my contacts now, and I'm going to select some contacts. I'm just going to choose the first 20 here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push them through this workflow. Okay, so I'm going to go add campaign and okay to proceed. Let me choose the workflow that I just created, training one. and I'm going to add them all at once. And I need to also tell the system why I'm doing this bulk action. Okay. It wants to know that because if anything disastrous happened and maybe you had a VA doing this or something like that, and you go back through the reporting to see, or the audit logs to see what happened, you can see that this bulk update was done, and you can also see the action to which, to why it was done. So I'm going to say training updated contacts. Okay, and add to campaign. All right, so now we're sending all of these contacts through there, and you can look at the bulk actions here. So we have training updated contacts. We can see that it was complete. We can actually show the stats here. So 20 were successful and there were 0 errors. Okay, so now when we go back to our contacts here, we have all of those contacts that we just sent through the workflow. All right. Now I want to actually create a list of those contacts that I sent through there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to more filters and I'm going to add tag. And the tag that we used for that was booked. So I'm just going to choose booked now and apply. And you can see that it actually, we added 20 to that, but it actually already had a lot of contacts in the booked section there. Okay, so let's just say these were all the contacts. I want the booked contacts. Okay, so we're gonna save as smart list. I'm gonna go ahead and say booked for my smart list. And now, okay, so this says already used. So I'm gonna say training booked. Okay, so now I have all of these contacts for training booked, and let me just go ahead and I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to just send them through this workflow because I want them to have all of the same information. I click here, send them to the workflow. Let's type in training. It was training 1, add all at once. I'm going to say second attempt, attempt to add to work or to update contacts. All right, you can see that I'm a horrible speller. And okay, second attempt. All right, and now I'm going to add all of them there. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and run all of those contacts through the bulk actions. We can go back here. You'll see second attempt added. It's still queued, so it's not been completed yet, but that's okay because now what we need to do is we need to build another workflow. Okay, you can see it was successful there, no errors, nothing. Okay, so that whole workflow, all of those contacts have been added there. Now I'm going to go back to my contacts now, and you'll see that we have the training booked smart list. It shows up here once we create that. So all of these contacts have been sent through that workflow. Okay. I love to use these smart lists because it easily tells me, and it's dynamic. It easily tells me all of the people who meet whatever criteria that I set. And you can see here that there are tons of different criteria that we can set here. And of course, you can choose one thing or you can choose multiple different filters to use. Once you set all those filters, then you create the smart list and then it will keep it updated. Okay, so if you add new people or you take people away, based on that criteria, it will organize your list here. Okay, so smart list, absolutely incredible. Now, what I want to do is I want to create another automation here. And I'm going to search for training. I'm going to search for the one that we just went through. Okay, so this is the workflow that we built that we wanted to send our people through. All right, now I'm going to open up, and I'm still in the same account. Excuse me. But I'm going to open up another workflow. I just wanted to be able to refer to that one. So we're going to say training 2 for this one. Okay. And here, I'm not going to add a trigger to this workflow. Okay, this workflow right here is only going to be used for current contacts that I now want to update with the new information. Okay, so if we're using this as an example, maybe instead of the booked tag, maybe I want to remove that and I want to add booked appointment tag. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to show you how to do here. All right, now maybe I created a completely different pipeline too. So maybe I want to remove them from this, and then I want to add them to the other pipeline, which is leads pipeline. Okay, maybe I assigned them to me, but I actually instead I want to remove that and I want to add them to the support team. All right, maybe I added them to the affiliate manager, but now I want to remove that and maybe add them to a different campaign. Okay. And then also, I gave them access to offer one, but I actually created offer two now and it's updated and I want to move all those people from offer one to offer two. Okay. So that's what I'm building here inside of this workflow. I see this all the time that people need to know how to do this. And I was like, I have to do this training to show you how. Okay. So the very first step that we have here is we have booked. All right. So now my first step is actually going to be remove that booked tag. All right. So we're kind of reversing our workflow. Right. So we have removed book tag. Now what I want to do is I want to add the tag that I really do want. So I'm going to choose add tag and then I'm going to select here. So let's do booked and let's say appointment. Maybe that's my tag that I want to replace that with. Okay. So now, whenever they get pushed through this workflow, we're going to remove that book tag and we're going to add the booked appointment tag. Okay. So what's our next step here? The next step is create or update the opportunity. And they were in the leads pipeline in the cold stage. But maybe what I want to do is just completely remove them from that pipeline. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to choose remove opportunity. And I'm going to say just remove completely from the leads pipeline because I have another pipeline I want to add them to. So I'm going to go to opportunity. And I'm going to, now that I've removed them from the other one, I'm going to add them to the leads pipeline here. And then I'm going to choose what stage and all of that that I want to add them to. I'm going to go ahead and pre-fill in the source that they came from. And I can go ahead and say one and save. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're removing and adding and removing and adding. Okay. So now here, I have assigned this user to me, but actually instead, I want to assign this user to, or the users who come through here that were assigned to me, I actually want to remove the assignment from me and I want to add it to my support team. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove assigned user. And I don't need to choose a user because whoever it was assigned to is going to now remove the user. Okay. I need to now assign to a new user. So this time I'm going to choose the support team and I'm going to go ahead and save action. Right. So the next step that I have here is add to the affiliate manager. Now, this time I want to maybe remove them from the affiliate manager. So I'm going to type in remove. Or maybe what I could do is remove them from a campaign instead of affiliate manager. So let's do that. Let's change this to delete and let's go affiliate manager because that's probably what most of you would do. Okay. So instead of removing from the actual affiliate manager, what I'm going to do is just remove from that affiliate campaign and I'm going to choose the campaign that I want to remove them from. So I'm going to say messenger. We actually only have one campaign in this demo account. So I'm going to pretend when I add them to another campaign that it was a different one, but you get the process, right? So we're just removing them from that specific campaign. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then now down here, what I want to do is add them to a campaign. So I'm not completely removing them from the affiliate management system. I'm just removing them from that campaign. So now I'm going to add them to a new one. And again, we're going to pretend this is a different one. I'm going to add them to the L Messenger affiliate campaign. Okay. Now going back here, we have the membership grant offer. Okay. So here we're granting offer one here. And what we actually want to do here is revoke access to offer one. Okay. So revoke. Oh, membership revoke offer. And I'm going to say revoke offer to one, but I want to add the offer to two. Okay. So save action. All right. So now that we have taken away all the actions from this workflow and we've added actions to our new workflow. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and publish this. And now let's go back here and let's add our, let me refresh my screen here too, because I'm working in different browsers. Let's go back now to our contacts list. Contacts. Let's go to our smart list. And we have training booked. This is our list. So I'm going to take all of these contacts here and I'm going to push them through our new campaign. Okay. So I'm going to go here. Let's choose training. Remember, it was training 2 here. So I'm going to add them all at once. So I'm going to say bulk updated contacts. And I'm going to add them to the campaign. And okay, let's go back and check our bulk actions now. It's still working, so I'm going to go ahead, refresh the screen. Okay, and it is still going, but if we go back here to our smart list, we can actually see, because remember this list, and you can see the list is reducing in size now, because this list, remember the criteria was that booked tag. Well, if they're going through that new workflow, they're not going to have the booked tag. They're going to have the appointment booked tag. Okay, so once this workflow completes, we should not have any users inside of that smart list for the booked tag. Okay, so I'm refreshing here and we can see that our workflow has been complete. You can see the stats here, see if you had any errors, no errors, everything is good. If we go back to our contacts now and we go to training booked, you'll see now we have no members here, okay, because everyone has now been moved. Now, if we go here and we change our criteria, instead of booked, we would choose booked appointment. Okay, I'm going to remove that. So now any contacts that have the booked appointment tag should now show up here, and you'll see that we have 227. Okay, so now this is updated here. This smart tag list with all of the contacts that just went through our new workflow. So you can see here that they have all been updated. And if I go into one of the contacts here and I scroll down, you should see now that this contact has access to offer 2. They have also the booked appointment here. Okay, so all of their info has now been updated. Okay, so that is really how easy it is to bulk update your contacts and completely move them from one workflow into a new workflow and update all of their information. Okay, so thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for today's training. If you have any questions, you can join us for open office hours starting right now at bridgetbartlett.com. It's free and open to everyone, so I'll see you there.